Welcome to your Barbados Today evening news update for Wednesday, November 18. So glad you could join us. A new transport authority is in place and en route to overhauling the island's transport sector. Word of this from Transport and Works Minister Ian Gooden-Edgell as he presented a new team at a press conference this evening. The authority will be led by Chairman Adrian Grant and includes Janice Boyce, the new Deputy Chairman, Caroline Thornton, Rashida Beckles, Andrew Willoughby, Adrian Bailey, Keisha Small, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry Mark Cummins, Linda Holder, Edwin O'Neill, Kenneth Best, and Inspector Rodney Innes. Gooden-Edgell tasked the new board with repositioning public transport.
The board would have to reposition and evaluate public transport to a far higher level of appreciation as a major factor in our national, social and economic life. Coupled with that will be the establishment of public transport as a major contributor to national activity.
In other news, the former workers at Caribbean Aircraft Handling staged protest action today, demanding that the company pay up outstanding monies. The workers were expected to receive vacation pay and other sums by Tuesday, as committed by the company. But they say they have not been receiving much information from management. Former line crewman Albert King says they have worked hard over the years and they deserve their due.
Really, when you say you care, you don't show me that you really care, because we make it happen for the company all these years. Even working short staff, short of equipment. Even some of we as employees had to be like tractors on a Saturday. You got, could be as much as 25, 30 flights on the ground. Liat, that's something you got. My one maybe as a supervisor dealing with Liat, loading front and back. You got sometimes 6, 7 JetBlues on the ground. You got 3 Air Canadas. You got 3 Americans. You got Virgin, you got Copa. You understand? And then with Air Antilles dropping in between. And you short of staff, short of equipment, and we the staff. I take my hat off to those guys every Saturday and Sunday and during the week, making it happen for the company. I understand it's a pandemic. Don't get me wrong, it's global, it's worldwide. But you got people here like me that's suffering with rent to pay, a family to take care, a young 18-month-old child. You understand? And can't get no money.
General Secretary of the United Progressive Party, Wayne Griffith, was on the scene as the workers protested outside the Grantley Adams International Airport. Griffith says the UPP has been providing the workers with legal representation. He says the workers deserve answers.
We want to see that their needs are met and that they receive their due severance. They've been made a lot of promises. We've written letters from our legal team to the management of the Caribbean Aircraft Handling, and we want to see this matter resolved very quickly because, as the judge pointed out, they have several debts and funds to feed and what's not. And they made a promise of the 17th, which was yesterday, and nothing has materialized. They now seem to be taking the actions that they're supposed to have taken before. So it's past due, and they have right to protest it. Because just like everybody else, they have needs. The government is seen spending money, applying to spend money on various projects and entities in Barbados. But I think the workers who are having their priority.
Harrison's Cave remains the property of Barbados. That's the assurance from Tourism Minister Senator Lisa Cummins as she presented the new operators of the cave, the Jamaican company Chukka Caribbean Adventures, today. Chukka was granted a 25-year lease after it successfully won a bid to operate the cave over 3 local interests. Cummins, who says the partnership will deliver new things at the tourist attraction, also cleared the air on suggestions that Chukka has received a subvention from the government of Barbados.
That is absolutely far from the truth. The minister has the Minister in the Ministry of Finance spoke very clearly when he did in Parliament on what the purpose of that subvention was, that transfer was a supplementary amount, and the chairman in his earlier remarks also spoke to the pre-existing Caribbean Development Bank loan that needed to be serviced. It was a loan that was in place since 2007, and therefore those obligations needed to be serviced in October and thereafter in January, and that remains a Government of Barbados obligation as it was linked to the Cricket World Cup. The Government of Barbados has not now or at any point provided a subsidy, a subvention, or approved supplementary resources as a transfer to Chukka. And I would want to make sure that I correct that information which has been erroneously shared in the public space, I think as perhaps an act of mischief.
Chukka is expected to rehire all 60 employees from the cave when the facility reopens. Chief Executive Officer of Chukka, Mark Melville, told reporters today there could also be more opportunities over time, as he outlined a range of new activities to come on stream.
The zipline activity, the challenge course activity is a harnessed activity. And the slide, there's going to have to be a start and a finish safety officer. I also see some more opportunities in photo and some of the other ancillary services that that you'll see. There'll be maybe more entertainment during the day. And then as the business grows in general, there's going to be a need for more hands on the job, so to speak.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news now, the COVID-19 pandemic was among factors that caused the Jamaican economy to contract by just over 11% for the July to September quarter.
It says this was due to a number of factors, including a surge in COVID-19 confirmed cases globally and locally, with the island recording an increase of over 800% as at September 30 relative to June 30. It also noted that the impact of the temporary closure of Jamaica's largest alumina refinery in St. Elizabeth last year was a major factor in the contraction. Weakened business and consumer confidence and a weakened demand associated with lower income due to job losses and reduced work hours were also factors. The PIOJ's data showed approximately 135,800 fewer persons were employed in July 2020 relative to July 2019.
On the world scene, some governments and officials are hoping that immunizing just 2/3 of the population with COVID-19 vaccines could halt the pandemic and help protect whole communities or nations. More in this report from Reuters Television.
The concept comes with caveats, and experts say such expectations are misplaced. Reuters health correspondent Kate Kelland.
So, some scientists are worried that the concept of herd immunity is being misunderstood. They worry that people wrongly believe that it would be something that they can rely on as individuals to protect them, even if they don't get vaccinated. And they also think there is a misconception about what's involved in achieving herd immunity.
Estimations of the threshold we'd need to reach for herd immunity varies, depending on who you ask. Most estimates say between 60 to 70% of the population needs to have immunity of some form, either through vaccination or from previous infection. But all of that hinges on the elusive reproduction rate, or R value, the measure of how much the virus is being transmitted and how much it is circulating.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.